So there's a news article in CNET dated July 11th, 2019 that says, "Is drooling bad for your teeth? Here's what you should know." I don't know if that's a drool product, but whatever. When it comes to your health and the potential dangers of vaping, you probably think you've heard it all. New York, how do you say that? Periodontist Scott from DDS did too, including the possibility of e-cigarettes exploding in someone's face. But then Fromm started noticing a troubling trend among his patients. Two stories stuck out to him. The first involves a young man who had quit smoking traditional tobacco products by switching to e-cigarettes, which he had been using for 5 years. Believing vaping to be healthier, this patient smoked a cartridge a day, often chasing it down with sugar-laden energy drink to quench the resulting dry mouth. The combination left him with extensive tooth decay, enamel wear, and eventually tooth loss. Then there was the older gentleman who had switched from traditional cigarettes to e-cigarettes. This patient had been cavity-free for 35 years, but within a year of taking up vaping, the enamel on his teeth started to erode and soften, increasing his risk of cavities. It was this latter case that led Fromm, who is also a clinical associate professor in the Department of Periodontics, I guess how you say it, at SUNY Stony Brook School of Dental Medicine to dig into the research on vaping's effect on oral health. He posted his findings in Implant Advisory, of which he is the editorial director. And the response was huge. The article was picked up by other industry magazines, leading to an outpouring of emails from other dentists. We began seeing the tooth decay, but didn't realize what it was from. We had been noticing it in teens that weren't at risk and then attributing it to other things like Monster Energy type drinks. We never realized that vaping could also be a cause. Most experts agree that although e-cigarettes generally contain fewer toxins than tobacco cigarettes, that doesn't mean they're harmless. And after reviewing the evidence on how propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and nicotine, the three most common ingredients in e-cigarettes, can affect oral health, Fromm thinks there's cause for concern. Propylene glycol, a liquid alcohol that's often used in food processing because of its ability to mix well with flavoring ingredients, can lead to dry mouth, which when chronic can cause cavities and gum disease. PG also breaks down into acetic lactic acid and you see it, all of which are known to deteriorate tooth enamel and soft tissues. Research also shows that when teeth are exposed to vaping aerosol that contains a mix of vegetable glycerin and flavorings, they carry 4 times more bacteria than teeth that haven't been exposed. Although both propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin are recognized as safe for ingestion by the FDA, less is known about their health effects or those of their byproducts, which include potential carcinogens like formaldehyde and heavy metals like lead, nickel, and mercury when they're inhaled. These breakdown products haven't been tested because vaping was deemed to be innocuous and a better choice than smoking. Nobody studied it. They kind of let the lesser evil go by unchecked and not researched. Experts also don't know how the distribution of these chemicals changes when they're turn into a vapor. There is some evidence that may be able to travel farther into the body's tissues and cells, just as diacetyl, a buttery flavored chemical in foods, did when popcorn factory workers inhaled it, causing a type of lung disease known as, and you see it with popcorn. The potential effect of nicotine on gums, on the other hand, is well known thanks to cigarette research. Although e-cigarettes generally contain less nicotine than tobacco cigarettes, there is substantial evidence it can have the same effect. Decreased blood flow and cellular turnover, which can increase your risk of gum disease and tooth loss. Especially Juul. I mean, 50 milligrams of nicotine salt. I mean, who knows? It goes on a little bit more. And then he tells you, of course, what to do to try to prevent tooth decay. Says vaping may not stain your teeth like smoking cigarettes does, but the nicotine and some of the chemicals are still harmful carcinogens that can cause problems. And these are the things to look out for: red, puffy, bleeding gums, receding gums, white spots on your teeth, red or white patches on your gums or the inside of your cheek, oral thrush. These problems can take longer to develop in teens and young adults with no prior history of tobacco use. Damages can go unseen, unmonitored, and could potentially get to be quite extreme before they're aware of what's going on. So that's pretty much it. So you're just saying that, especially with nicotine salt, I mean, at 50 milligrams, I mean, I'm sure it does damages to the teeth somehow or another. Thank goodness I don't do nicotine salt, but there are many that do. But it's interesting how a combination, and it's true. I mean, ever watch Envy or Network? I mean, he has 2-liter sodas that he downs all the time because he probably enjoys the drink, for one thing. I'm not picking on him, but he's the only one that really comes to mind that drinks sodas all the time on these live shows. Not all the time, but some of the time. And he's downing like Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. So a combination of that along with vaping, even though, of course, I don't think he does nicotine salt. So he just does like 6 milligrams of nicotine with all the other additives added to it. A combination of that can certainly wreak havoc on your teeth. My teeth are pretty shot, so I have, I mean, my teeth are just shot, so I'm not concerned about me. But there are, the teenagers out there that are 15 years old, 16 years old, that are vaping Juul products. In 10, 20 years, they might actually have or potentially have issues with their teeth that are due to vaping, or a combination of, drinking sweeteners, drinking sweet drinks to quench their throats because their mouths are dry due to vaping, and or vaping itself even, maybe. So it's just something I want to share with you guys. And that's it. Bye-bye.